Hey guys, in the last few months I have been watching episodes from the original Star Trek TV series. Originally it was my plan just to watch a few Star Trek movies to get a taste for it and to balance out all the exposure I had to Star Wars in the first half of the year, but when I discovered that 2016 is the 50th anniversary of the TV show, I decided it was the ideal time to check it out. So, I'm hoping to do a video of my favorite episodes of the original Star Trek TV show by the end of this year, so that I can be within the window of the 50th anniversary, because that would be perfect, right? But first, it was always my intention to watch Star Trek VI this year, and so I finally did it, and here is my review of Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, from 1991, 113 minutes long, directed by Nicholas Meyer. This movie is the original Star Trek crew's final appearance together on film. We find them on the brink of retirement. However, they have one last mission to undertake, one that Captain Kirk is not happy about. The explosion of a Klingon moon has forced the Klingons to seek peace with the Federation to ensure their survival. Starfleet sends an unwilling Kirk to usher the Klingon ambassador to peace negotiations. As you'd expect, things do not go well. After a very testy group dinner, the Klingon ship is attacked and the ambassador assassinated, apparently by someone from the Enterprise. When Kirk and Dr. McCoy are arrested by the Klingons and sent to an Arctic prison planet, Spock must scour the Enterprise for evidence to uncover the identity of the real assassins and traitors who stand in the way of peace. Whew, that was a lot of stuff to get through. And I'm not used to talking about Klingons, so that was really different for me. This movie covers a lot of ground, literally and figuratively. It takes place in a lot of different locations. There are several distinct segments. Amazingly, after all my years of being on the internet, I managed to avoid spoilers, so pretty much everything was new to me. The only thing that I had heard of and seen anything about, really, was the zero gravity sequence, which is possibly the most famous part of the movie. Now I've seen it, and yeah, that was pretty cool. Also pretty freaky, and it didn't help the freakiness factor that while I was watching, I half expected an astronaut to go floating by and eat the Klingon blood because, it looks like space food. Yeah, that's gross. The number one thing I liked about this one is probably, I wonder if you can guess, the excess of Shakespeare quotations. Oh my, especially in the climactic scene. The central villain, Chang, played by Christopher Plummer, is taunting Kirk and relentlessly rattling off these Shakespeare quotations over the Enterprise intercom. Chang's getting really into it, relishing his superior position, just spewing Shakespeare right and left. I'm mentally scrambling to remember the source of each line and fanning myself from Shakespeare overload. And Dr. McCoy, I love him, he's just like, I'd give real money if he'd shut up. Did they go overboard with quotations? Maybe. But this literary nerd enjoyed it. There were a couple scenes that stuck out for me, just little things, like the scene where Kirk finds a bummed-out Spock in his quarters and tries to cheer him up. They reconcile their previous disagreement, and then Kirk says, "Spock, everybody's human," and Spock gets all insulted. And I also love the moment when McCoy gleefully accepts Spock's invitation to prep a torpedo. It's nice to see that they are finally able to work together on something without bickering, although I do love that bickering. Clearly, I really enjoy the interactions between the three main characters. I give high points for a stimulating and sometimes eerie musical score by Cliff Idleman, and for splendid explosions and visual effects. I'm not a huge special effects person, but I do get a childlike giddiness out of a good explosion. There was also a lot of creative camera movement, which kept up the pace and helped it feel more like an action movie, even though significant portions of it were just about diplomacy or detection. Things I was not so into. Well, I've decided I don't like these uniforms. Kirk's fight with the shapeshifter. I like some of Star Trek's corny stuff, but this was a little bit too much for me. And I did have some questions about things that kind of made me scratch my head, and poking cautiously, very cautiously, around the IMDb discussion boards, I discovered that other people had similar questions. For instance, why Uhura has to rummage through stacks of ancient books in order to translate a Klingon message. So there are some plot holes or inconsistencies or just kind of illogical things that did become hiccups in my viewing experience, all that aside, I found Star Trek VI to be an engaging action movie with a strong emphasis on social and political commentary. I've thought about it, and I'd say I definitely liked Star Trek II and Star Trek IV better for different reasons, but I did enjoy Star Trek VI, and I felt a little sad when it was over, knowing that it was the end of the old Enterprise crew together on film. But it's not the last time I'll be seeing them, because I've still got a bunch of episodes of Star Trek the Original Series to get through before I can make a video about it, so I'm going to get on that. That's what I'll be doing the rest of this month. Thanks for watching. Bye!